Part of my journey has been having individuals in my life, going all the way back to high school that have been nothing but supportive, nothing but friends, nothing but proponents of mine. And I've learned so much from them. And I think it's a really good idea to look back on your life and understand why they had such an impact on you. And I think it's also important for them to impart wisdom because we've all learned a lot since high school. And it's great to see these young men. Fellas,
Yeah.
introduce yourselves, where you went to high school, what you're doing now. The floor is yours. Eldred, you start, man.
All right. Well, David, thanks for having us. I really appreciate it. Nice to see you guys. Long story short, class of 2005, New Canaan High School, just like you fine gentlemen. Since then, we're back to New Canaan, working in Stanford, in Manhattan for a number of years. Since back in Connecticut, tech sales, currently live in Norwalk with my girlfriend. Hang out with my big family as often as I always did, play golf, and doing a lot of the usual things and a little more mature these days.
Boom. Amen.
Amen. Well, all right, Goody. What have you been up to 21 years since New Canaan High School?
I also, like everybody here, went to New Canaan High School, class of 2005. And since then, I've been pretty much doing the same thing. I went to college. I went to college at Fairfield. And then I've been doing real estate in this city essentially my entire professional life. And I still do it today.
That's awesome, man. All
For
right.
sure. The same day.
Homecoming King back in our freshman year, Chaz Webb.
And
What's up,
Woo!
brother?
don't forget class president too in that same year.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry to sell you short, Chaz.
Yeah, no problem. So Chaz Webb, like these fine gentlemen, class of '05, New Canaan High School, and I was the one that went down south. I went to Chattanooga, got a degree in civil engineering, and then moved to Raleigh, where I work for Raleigh Civil Engineering and Stormwater. And also, my parents are down here in Pinehurst, North Carolina, not too far from me. And so I get to see them a lot. And I live with my wife, Honey. We've been married 4 years now. And yes, that's her real name.
Ah,
Very
I love
cool.
it.
it's a
I
cool
love it.
name.
A really cool name. So this isn't like a reference or an homage to Friends. Her real name, her birth name is Honey.
Yes.
Because Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston called everyone Honey.
Sweet.
So listen, fellas, for me, I don't want to go in like any particular order. This should be organic. It's already organic with you guys. I've known you forever. When I look at my career, being on the airwaves now for 5 years on SiriusXM, CBS, WFAN, you guys have always supported me. And I feel like whatever you do in life, to have people in different realms of your life, even if it's from 20, 25 years back, it means the world. So much of myself has grown. I know Eldred referenced maturity, wisdom, taking place in our lives and how much that's impacted us. But you need people in your life, no matter what phase we're talking about, to ultimately positively influence you and impact you. You three have always done that. So it's fitting that I'm talking with you guys about your high school experience and what you have learned since high school, once something that you wish you may have known while you were in high school. So I don't have to call on you guys. It's not a classroom, it's just for friends. I'm just curious looking back, and I know we're talking 21 years ago when we all graduated. What was the biggest highlight for you at New Canaan High?
You got to pick someone to go first. You're the moderator.
No, this ain't a classroom. I trust
Wait,
you
Huh.
guys.
you want personal or just overall?
Man, whatever feels right to you.
You know what feels right to me is how we rallied together around 9/11 because you know that impacted a lot of us, whether directly or indirectly, and we came together as a community and bonded together. We were just freshmen, and we were still young and didn't really know what was going on in the world. And I moved down south, and everybody had their 9/11 story. And I'm like, it doesn't compare when you were 50 miles from the event. And the fact that we could come together as a class, as a school, and as a town, I think showed just what New Canaan is all about.
Yeah, it was our first couple weeks of high
Oh my
school, right?
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. I'd say for me, since we're all such diehard sports fans, and that's kind of always going to be a theme amongst guys like us. I have a story of really how I started playing golf competitively in high school. It's actually pretty funny. You guys remember Bill Brown? He was our equipment manager for football. And freshman year, I was always giving him trouble, and he always took crap from my older brothers and said, Eldred, in the spring, don't leave me alone. I'll be on the golf course, right? Like, don't come out. Don't even think about coming out for golf, right? So spring of freshman year, what did I do? I came out for the golf team. I didn't really know how to play at the time. They kept 50 plus of us on the team, and I learned to play that year. The following year, I got better, and he actually played me in a JV match. And I'll never forget walking up the ninth fairway at New Canaan Country Club, and all the guys that knew how to play golf, like, Donald Worthley and Kyle Healy and Dardani and Zara, they were all laughing at me, like, hey, like, how poorly did you play in the match? Like, it was a joke. Turned out I shot 40 on 9 holes in that match. I not only won my match, but I beat everyone in the match. And it was a growing experience for me, because since then I've played competitively. I caddied. Now I play golf for work. I networked through it, and it was like an underdog story that kind of launched me, from there. So one I'll never forget.
Boom. Boom. I'd say for me, it's a little bit different, but one thing that I think about often, because my parents still live in New Canaan, and then I loved about high school was going to Lou's Kitchen during my free periods. I miss Lou's Kitchen so much. I think about that all the time when I'm in town, to like get a very super consistent bacon, egg, and cheese. And I moved here. I wasn't here for 9/11. So I moved here in May of my freshman year, and they made me immediately go to summer school. So that year I had to go to summer school, the summer between freshman and sophomore year. And it was like a ragtag group of people that were like not there to learn. But the teacher every morning got us Lou's. And I look back at that moment because New Canaan was all so new to me, and I really hadn't found anything that I loved. And then being introduced to Lou's, and then just our breakfast scene sandwich was so good. Made it myself was very good. Forest Street was very good. So like when I think in my dreams, when I'm dreaming, I'm in a New Canaan where those three places exist.
That's awesome, man.
A bacon, an egg, and a cheese.
Bacon, an egg, and a cheese. Con papas.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw out a name that you guys probably all remember. You remember Sarah Eli?
Oh,
Does that name? Does
let
that
it be
name?
nice.
If yeah. You're putting us on the spot. If
No,
you know.
I either way you do, or you got to be a good actor. So one of the two. But I was in the play senior year with Brian Manitok and Kate Bodenheimer,
Huh?
and I was always an athlete. But I wanted to test my acting ability, and she said, I've never seen someone improve so much in one play. Um, and I walked out. It was our last play, and I got a standing ovation. Like when I got out of the
Wow.
dressing
That's
room.
amazing.
Fellas, I
You're a
couldn't
natural. You're a natural. I
I
feel.
couldn't believe it. Well, it's
That's
I see.
awesome.
Unlike you three, I had a really rough introduction to high school. Really rough.
How do you know?
I had a reputation coming in, and that reputation unfortunately carried with me for a long time.
You know
So there
what?
was a
I was new. I didn't know any reputation of you. So
I
it's like
had
I didn't
one.
know.
I
I
had
didn't know
one.
this. I
Yeah.
didn't know you had a reputation.
Well, Eldred, Goody, I don't even know if you know. I mean, I know Eldred and Chaz remember. There were some things that happened in middle school that I
I
obviously
wasn't
look.
here in middle school,
I
so I
know, I
don't
know,
know. So I
I
don't know
know.
any
But
of those.
let's put it this way. I was not the greatest kid, and I had a lot of growing up to do, and I had a lot of insecurity. But that's what I remember. So what I also remember was coming into high school. And it wasn't Pavia, it wasn't Tony Pavia yet, an extraordinary principal, by the way. I remember the article
Who
like it was
who
yesterday.
was it? Who was it?
I know it was the guy with it was like an intern principal.
He was
He
extraordinary. I can't remember his
Not
he
name.
was
not
really
Ari
nice.
Rothman. Not
No,
Rothman.
no,
He
no,
was
no,
the
no.
vice
Rothman
principal.
Rothman Rothman came after our freshman year.
Yeah, okay.
It was the guy with like the he was like he was really nice, but he had white hair. But he had us do an exercise when we all came in as freshmen, and we had to write a letter to ourselves the day we graduated in 2005, which I know seems like forever ago, but in 2001, 2005 seemed like in the long distance from that point. But I remember writing a letter to me. And my question for you guys, if you could go back and tell your 14-year-old self or 18-year-old self the best possible advice once you left high school, what would it be?
I would say, well, for one, also, you said you were the only one that had a reputation, Dave. If you ever met the brother above me, Colin, he left quite a reputation for me. So he was a special person. He's doing all right now, but he was
Wild card.
quite
That's wild card.
he was quite mischievous growing up. So following his act was difficult. But anyway, I'd say in terms of what I would tell my 14-year-old self, it's pretty simple, which is, essentially what's cool in high school, right? A lot of that is not cool when you become an adult. So, what I thought was being cool, or what would be forever in high school 20 years later, it's most of it really is not, right? So, and I probably wouldn't have understood that or accepted it, but now I know that to be true. So that's what I'd say. I'd tell myself.
Boom. Tone it down on the bullying is what I would tell you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but
For sure.
you became one of the nicest people from our high school though. And yeah, you were listen,
Maybe the
you were not
nicest.
a very nice you were not a very nice person in middle school, Eldred. You were not. But you also became one of the nicest people from
Oh,
our New Canaan High School
No,
2005
I
class.
appreciate that. Well, I had a shell, right? So I was a good person inside, but I
Yeah.
thought I had to be a big tough guy because I
mm.
had three older brothers, and that's a lot of people act silly when they're teenagers, right? But hopefully you grow out of it. Is
I
kind of the goal.
Eldred,
Yeah.
I got a story for you on the other side about Will Dooley. Chaz remembers. Goody, I don't know if I've ever
Oh,
told you.
Yeah, but if you
I
post this in a group, Will Dooley's like, did they get my permission to
No,
mention my
I
name?
no, we're talking freely. I don't need his permission for anything. And I will and
I
trust
could be a
me.
witness to the story.
Yeah, so I don't need that individual's permission from anything. Speaking of immature individuals. But Goody, with
Oh
that
no! Oh no! It's a bad story. Don't omit it. Because if you're posting it in somewhere that he can, that's on. Who
No,
are you to
I'm telling wait a minute. This is my high
But
school
this is for
experience.
your
I can
YouTube
talk about
channel.
whatever I want. It's
Yeah,
not
all
if
right.
it's Goody, if it's slander, that's one thing. But if it's factual and he did something to me and Chaz back when
On
we were
your
in high
show.
school, it ain't fiction. There's
All right,
nothing
all right.
against
Well,
that.
let me hear what he did. Let me hear what he did.
Okay, no, but let's continue this. So this is what we call a tease. Goody, if you could go back in time and tell your 14-year-old self or 18-year-old self the best piece of advice in high school, looking forward to the rest
Yeah,
of your life, at least to your 39 years old, what would that be?
I'm not 39 yet, so I don't know what that is
I
like.
apologize. I'm sorry. The
But
rest
you
of
know
us
what?
are
This
39. I
this
apologize.
sounds silly. This sounds silly, but it would be such great advice. And I would say stop consuming things other than water and coffee. Because when I was a kid, I would be drinking these Snapples, these Nantucket Nectars, these Gatorades, and I had a multitude of problems all the time: energy crashes, stomach issues. And since in my mid 20s, I stopped drinking all sugary drinks. It's amazing, like what has changed for me. My energy, my mood, everything. So it's like a silly, like you're probably expecting something like, oh, be a better person, but yeah, stop drinking the sugary drinks. This in our cafeteria we had Nantucket Nectars that had a serving size of 35 grams per sugar, and there
Yeah,
were two servings per bottle, so it was 70 grams per sugar. Crazy. I
yeah,
used to have
yeah.
4 of those a day. So I'd say take it easy with those, and maybe try coffee, black coffee.
Black
I like
coffee, I
it.
like it.
I
Yeah.
like it.
What you got, Webb?
All right, so as you guys probably know, I am a fan of Billy Joel. And Billy Joel had a song called Vienna, and the opening line for that song is "Slow down, you crazy child, you're so ambitious for a juvenile." And I came in and I was looked down on, I was picked on. I mean, look, I was about 5'2" when I entered high school. I was short, I was rail thin, and I wanted to show the world, and I was gonna show the world what I could do, and just slowing it down, just taking a step back, enjoying what you have going on, and stop just trying to prove everybody wrong. Stop thinking that everybody is against you. I had some wonderful people like you guys that I was surrounded with, and just I could have embraced that a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well said. Gentlemen, I mean, you guys know this growing up in New Canaan. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure from your family, and there's even more pressure from the outside. And you're always measuring yourself against other people. You're always doing well, they have this is where I need to be. This is what I need to have. And I would look at someone like a Will Dardani or a Tyler Zera Eldred, I know you were very close with them in high school, or an Adam DeFovio or an Ernie Graywatts. And I would say, hey, they're dating this person. Why aren't I with this person? Or they're achieving this on the football
Oh,
field or
love
on the
Adam. Love Adam.
right or on the I love Adam. I love Adam. Great dude. We got to get Adam and Ernie in this next time, man. Those guys are like two peas in a pod. And Ernie, I know is a dad. Is Adam? Do we have an update on DeFovio?
I don't
Is
think
he?
he's bad. I don't think
No, he's
I
not.
know he went to law school. I know
Yeah,
he
yeah.
became a lawyer.
He lives in the Hartford area. He's an attorney.
Okay, I'm not surprised. He
Not
always worked his
married.
ass off.
Yeah, not married, no kids.
Okay,
But seen him in the last couple of years. He's doing well.
I've
that's
Still
seen
all.
off
active.
That's
at Tim's Law crab bake.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
There.
yeah.
He's doing
Yeah, and
well.
like Peter Cornish, like he was every woman's dream in high school. So like I would compare myself to him.
Come
So
on, it was Jansen. Let's be honest. His
Jansen
haters.
was up.
His
Jansen was
haters.
up there. If we
No,
did a
give me
power
Reed.
ranking,
Give me Reed. Reed.
Reed's Mr. Personality. Culligan's Mr. Person.
He
You know,
does.
listen. I would put Dan Matero up there. Like
Whoa,
we had some eligible bachelors in high school.
Dan Matero.
We had
Wow.
some Eldred. You did
Chaz, who
okay.
was yours? Chaz, who was yours?
Who was my? This is a joke.
No, just who was the most eligible bachelor? You were like, well, it wouldn't be bad to be them.
The Golden Bachelor.
Okay. Because I thought you meant for me. I was like, nobody was looking at me for that. Like, hell no.
Oh,
In that
no.
regard. I always thought it was the Fulvio for me.
Yeah.
DeFolvio, I love it. He's a thoroughbred.
Yeah,
Physically impressive guy. He's a physically impressive guy.
DeFovio getting multiple mentions in the conversation.
With a good heart, too. With a good heart.
Great,
Oh, yeah.
great heart.
Great kid.
Fellas, in the 21 years since we've been in high school.
What will Dooley do to you guys, by the way?
Let that go.
Okay. So let me share my Will Dooley story.
But I would say maybe don't share it on a group that he's in, but it's ultimately your decision. On YouTube, that's one thing, but
I could wait. I couldn't care. I couldn't care less. What he did was
what he found Jesus 10 years ago. He's a really nice guy now. He feels bad about it.
I hope for his sake he's a really nice guy. I really do.
Oh, let me hear what he did before I.
Okay. And I can always edit this out, but I'm not going to.
I like Will.
And fellas, Chaz is an eyewitness to this, and I don't know how much Eldred remembers of this, but Chaz is an eyewitness to this. Okay. So I left high school a semester early because I wanted to be an actor professionally. So I actually left high school at 17. And I hadn't seen anyone in a few months. And I went, and then Chaz or someone else told me that Will Dooley was having a party. And the way it worked in high school is you didn't call up ahead of time and say, "Hey, I want to come to your party. Is that okay?" You just show up. We all with me on this so far?
Yeah. Okay. I remember this party. This is what I thought you might have been talking about.
Yeah.
The cops showed up, blew it up.
But this ties Eldred in. Eldred in. So we show up. I try to be a respectful guest. I go up to Will. I say, "Will, this is also a party."
Did you bring a gift?
I wasn't that respectful. I was only 18.
No one brought a gift. Let's be honest. Everyone brought beer. Come on.
Well, no, we didn't drink at 18. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh
no, we didn't.
I brought him a lemonade or an orange juice, something like that. But I did go out of my way to say hi to him, ask him how he's doing, thank him for having us. He ignored me, didn't respond. A minute later, she comes up to Chaz and I, and he goes, "I need you to leave." And I go, "Will, did I say something wrong?" He goes, I need you to get the fuck out of here. I need you to get the fuck out of my house." And I go, "Will, I don't know what I did."
He probably didn't mean any. You know what? It was probably capacity, and he probably didn't mean. But give him a break.
Goody, there are 1,000 different ways you can tell somebody you're at capacity than saying
That's
to
fair.
them, "Get the
That's fair.
fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not excuse treating someone like crap. So I said to him, and this is what really bothered me. I said to him, "Look, I'll go if you want me to, but I haven't been to a high school party in 5 months. And this is my first time seeing so many people. And it would mean the world if Chaz and I can stay." And he goes, "I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of my house." And Eldred overheard this,
And
and he
probably
goes,
decided
and he
to.
goes, "Will, Shep and Chaz are good people. You can say you can be nicer."
Like
And
Joe
and
Pesci and Goodfellas.
and then
Hey,
Eldred and then
They're all
Eldred
right by
I
me.
love
You
it.
gotta
I
let
love
them
it.
stay.
and
I
then
got a little more
Eldred
mess with you.
and then Eldred looked at me, and he was smart because he was also a diffuser, and he could tell I was getting a little bit hurt by the way I was being spoken to. Because Will said this loud for people to hear. He didn't say this quietly. So not only is he kicking us out, but he's publicly embarrassing Chaz and I. And Eldred said, "Shep, Webb, you guys just got to go. It is his house. I'm sorry. I know it sucks. I know this isn't fair." What really So
Decidedly
Eldred was such a gem. And then what's really funny is um, I looked at Eldred. I said, "Eldred, you realize half the people here don't even go to our high school. We don't
No,
even know them."
no.
So that's so Eldred goes, "I know this is BS, but you just got to leave. I don't want to see it
We'll give
escalate."
them.
I go,
We'll
and I
give
go,
them.
"You're right." So Chaz and I, the next day, look at the. I think it was the next day or a week after. We look at the paper, and
Yeah, you saw it. There's an
and he,
arrest.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
you guys actually
Who
because
called it in is the question, is the great mystery.
that
I don't
night
know.
wasn't a very
Hmm.
fun night. So you guys might have actually gotten
You
away.
dodged the bullet. That's the way you
Yeah,
should look
you
at it.
dodged a bullet.
The bullet, yeah. Bless
So
you.
so fellas, there really is such a thing as karma, and I don't wish any arrest on anybody. I want to be very clear about that. I don't want to see anyone have that kind of
Will's probably not
ramification.
going to watch this video.
I couldn't care less.
Imagine
But
he watches it, and he's like, "Ah, jeez."
well,
That'd be
here's the rule of thumb: be kind to everyone at any stage of life. So, but I don't bring up that. I really don't bring up that story to shed light on the greatness of Will Dooley. It really is to shed light on how cool John Eldred was in high school, how cool he really was. Eldred, I don't know if you remember
Appreciate
this.
that. Yeah, no, I remember. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was the most diplomatic person, but
That night you
there
that
were
night you were.
times
Yeah.
in such certain situations that, like you said, I knew how to diffuse and make sure that people didn't. Drew Christensen might have a different outlook on it because him and I butted heads on the football field plenty and in the locker room. Um, but there were many times when I used my, I guess my popularity almost for good. And in that sense, in that case,
More
I
like
did.
Spider-Man in an instance, you literally, but still you let Dooley kick him out, you could have.
Yeah, well, you know
No.
what? Here's what I would say is one. I truly wanted to be friends with everyone, whether I was or not, and It was hard to look cool in front of the cool people and the cool girls, and then be friends with everyone because it didn't work. Obviously, in that case, right? It didn't always work, but I'd say even if Will, I haven't seen Dooley in couple days. I don't know. I barely seen Dooley since high school, but if he were to see this and take offense 20 years later, then that'd be unfortunate because it's so long ago that you gotta move on, right? Things happen. People did things, said things. It's high school.
Yeah. No,
Water
but
under the bridge.
listen, listen. In fairness to Will, I've had my bad moments in high school for sure. I don't care how old I am. I would never at any age speak to someone like that and embarrass them. But that's not, everyone grows up. But I really do highlight that
Probably
story.
banged up, you
What's
know.
that?
He was probably banged up, you know.
Maybe. But
Yeah,
I
you
do
got a mean
remember.
spirit guy.
I do remember it would have been really easy for Eldred to not say anything and just let Will treat us like crap. And he did say something. And Eldred,
Heroic.
it's 21 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Hell yeah. I
Let,
appreciate that,
let's
Dave.
let's
So,
let's point something out here. Dave, you said it was 21 years ago. I mean, more time has elapsed
yeah,
since the time that he was alive at that point in time.
That's a great point, Jazz.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Good
But
perspective.
Chaz, but this is a point
Jazz,
that's
amazing.
important. This is a point that's important. You never forget. You never forget pivotal moments in high school. You
You
never
don't.
you move on, but you never forget. There's a lot of examples I have where people have been really kind to me, and there's a lot of examples I have when people have taken shots at me and done wrong by me, and you never forget it. And that's the interesting thing. But fellas, my next question for you guys, and I love how this is organic and it's not going in a sequential order. What's the best lesson you have learned since high school?
Hmm.
Really good question.
I'm gonna say it's who you surround yourself with over what you surround yourself with. Because I think if you surround yourself with really good people, and I've had the fortune of surrounding myself, not only in high school, and granted, it wasn't a big circle; it was very small. I think we're kind of looking at it here. Um,
No,
and
no, Slattery, Fitzpatrick, Andy Miller. You had a lot of people in your corner in high
yeah,
school.
but that's about it, Dave. I mean,
Jimmy Kaiser, Zach Krupp.
I wouldn't go that far.
An
Okay.
army right there that you
Uh, so in college, I had some great people that I would still actually play golf with that were my freshman year roommates. And going through work, I had some mentors, and I've had some great people that I've worked with and connected here in Raleigh. And I think they have built me up. Also, my wife, who's been the most amazing person I've ever met, has really built me up. So I think it's who you surround yourself with. Focus on that.
boom.
I like it.
I love it.
Ooh. Zach, you're up. You're up.
I'll go. The question is what you've learned the most since
What's the
you've
best
graduated.
lesson you have taken with you since high school about life and yourself?
I would say learning like the way that you learn best was the most valuable for me because it's like when you're in high school, if you don't learn the same way that everybody else learns, maybe you think you're slow or you're not as smart as everybody else. When you figure out the way you learn, for me, it's being visual and pattern recognition, and you don't focus on your strengths and kind of realize that there's things that you're weak at, so you probably shouldn't focus too much on them. That the things you can control are your attention, and if you can control your attention and you can learn the way to learn quickly, like it's as you get older, I think you get much better at it. I think I'm good at it now, and I think like from 50 to 60, you'll get better at it, and 60 to 70, and it's one of the great things about life. God willing, you stay healthy. That like your just understanding of how to understand the world becomes so much greater as you get older because you get so much more information.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well
Deep.
said.
Thank you.
I would say probably I would jump off of the story that you told, Dave. Although I'm well aware, like you said, I was. You guys know I could be quite a bully in high school, so I made a lot of people feel badly.
Biggest
But I'm
story.
glad to hear that I also made some people feel good because I knew that I know deep down, obviously, I'm a good person. I come from a good family. I had good values, but sometimes I thought I was cool, and I had older brothers, and I was on the football team, and that can it can get ahead of you, right? But like you said, Dave, I think it's more about no one remembers. I'll fumble it, but it's a saying about no one remembers what you said. It's really about how you made them feel.
My
So you just made
Maya
it.
Angelou.
Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
you just made an example of that. So that's that's a something to live by. I'd say it doesn't. You could talk all day, but if you make someone feel good or bad, it's a telling quality in life. So
Hey, I'm going to tell a story, Eldred, of one time you made me feel good. And this came following a golf round that we had done at the country club of New Canaan. And this was a practice round with the assistant coach. I think it was Arkaman was his name. And I
all
was
right,
kind of nervous playing with him, and you were in the group as well. And I played really bad. I even like whiffed a chip shot. It was like a 55 or something. And you took me aside after and you said, "Hey, don't worry about it. You'll get it back the next time." And that really made a lasting impact because I'm still remember it, and I've had plenty of bad rounds since then. But for that point, I remember that you pulled me aside, and thank you.
that's awesome. Of course, Chess.
I want to piggyback off that. I think it really is um, the people in life that make it count and the individuals that you come across. Because at the end of the day, what does Denzel Washington always say, right? You don't take your material goods with you. What you take, if you believe in an afterlife, if you believe in a purpose, if you believe in something deep and encompassing that goes well beyond the human realm, is your soul. And individuals nourish that and they add to it and they enhance it. And you three have always done that for me for decades. How many people can say that about people from high school for 20 plus years? How many people can say that?
Hopefully a lot. Amen, though, Dave. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, no, all right, well said,
So,
well said.
We do it because I think that you're going to be very famous one day, and I want you to remember me, and we'll see. You're Stephen A. Smith, and
well,
then
I'd
we'll
like
pull this
to.
video back when I can't get you on the phone.
First of all, I don't give a shit about fame. What I care about is integrity and doing things the right way. Because, fellas, as you know, the media game today, it's not about who's the smartest, who's the most enlightened, who's the most captivating. It's about who says the craziest shit and has it stick. But I'd like to think that I'm already doing okay in the career of sports media. Have my own show 5 days a week on SiriusXM and I'm on ESPN Plus every single week as a NBA analyst. I can't believe people take seriously what I say about basketball. Who would have thought? But
It's
no,
awesome.
it's been a great journey. And again, it's about the people that you meet along the way. And I don't think it's an accident. In fact, I'm going to remove the think part. It's not an accident that you guys have come across me and I've come across you. I don't think that's
Yeah, yeah.
haphazard. You know what I mean? Um,
Amen to that.
Definitely.
so with that being said, we're four deep individuals. We can keep going down this road, but I got to pivot to sports before we wrap this up. So
Yeah.
Chaz,
Well, before you do that, hang on. You guys got a score update in the NBA playoff games or what?
man,
I'm
I'm hosting. I'm hosting. It's funny, Eldred. I'm hosting the SiriusXM NBA Radio postgame show
Are
tonight.
you really?
Philadelphia,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Boston, good.
We
So,
got we got 76ers up 69-58 on the Celtics,
That's surprising.
9:33 in the third.
right.
And
That's
then
that's that's some
we're
and Joel Embiid's dealing with the appendectomy too.
yeah, he's not on the floor, is he?
No, no, that's what I'm saying. The 76ers are doing
Appendicitis.
this
He had
in
appendicitis.
Boston without
Yeah,
the
yeah.
2023 regular season MVP.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they're trying to even the series up. And then it's early in the Blazers Spurs game,
Yeah.
27-26.
But
But
but Eldred, the 76ers will not win. They are not going to win this game.
no, no, no. They're not going to win the series. But
They're not
what a
going to win this.
phenom Wemby is, huh? That guy is unbelievable. He's
Well,
whew.
well, first of all, and I'm not taking anything away from him because he is one of one. He is a once in a lifetime player. It helps when you're born and grow up to be 7'5".
Yeah, I'd say.
That helps.
Great, thanks. Thank
I'd
you,
say.
Dave. Insightful.
Yeah, and
And
you
Because
Chaz, congrats to your
French.
Magic, Chaz. My girlfriend's from Detroit, so she's a Pistons fan, So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
it's an
Chaz.
interesting that's an
So
interesting
Thanks.
series.
right. So Chaz. So with that being said, I was talking to Dan Savage, and if you're going to cover any sport, your last name might as well be Savage. You can't go wrong with that. And Chaz, do you know who Dan Savage is? I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, geez. Okay. So he writes for the OrlandoMagic.com. He's got one of the biggest followings among Magic media members. And I was interviewing him, and it's going to air tonight on the SiriusXM NBA radio postgame show. And he told me, Chaz, not only is he not surprised that the Orlando Magic won game one in Detroit by 11 points, but he thinks they're going to win this series. And you guys have not won a playoff series in 16 years since some guy named Dwight Howard was 24 years old. Dwight Howard is in his 40s. That's how long it's been, Chaz Webb.
I'm well aware. I was still in college.
So enlighten us on what it's like being a Magic fan these last 16 years, and what are the chances the Magic actually make a run finally?
Um, so it's been awful. I mean, and you have to keep in mind, not only did they lose, but you're still haunted by Nick Anderson's missed free throws in '95 when he missed four straight in the finals against the Rockets. Dwight Howard missed free throws, missed opportunities in '09 against the Lakers. I mean, and you also have to understand Orlando's won, I think, four game ones in the last like five playoff appearances. So they get your hopes up, and then they just kind of rip them out, and you just kind of get used to it. It's like being a Jets fan, and I've gotten this reputation here in Raleigh that I root for sports teams that are just bad. I mean, Syracuse hasn't done anything. The Yankees haven't won a World Series in forever.
Syracuse hasn't done anything. They've been sorry to interrupt. I apologize for interrupting. They've been the laughing stock of college basketball. I mean, they haven't made an NCAA. They were winning national championships when we were in high school. They're not even sniffing the NCAA tournament, man.
Well, I think with McNamara coming and coaching, they just had a really bad hire with Red Autry, and that just was a bad. They want to promote within. So I think McNamara. I don't see them getting back to like a Final Four, next few years, but I think a tournament appearance in the next 2 years. But as far as Orlando, I'm gonna say this: they win in 6 games.
Wow.
I'd be begging.
Guys, I may have to clip this off and put it on Twitter. Why are you as a Magic fan so confident that as an 8 seed, your Magic are winning against the Detroit Pistons, a 60-win squad in 6 games?
I love the physicality that they showed in game one, and I don't think the Pistons were ready for it. And this team can be people seem to forget Orlando can be very good. They're a streaky team, and they're playing with a lot of fire right now.
Yeah, Ben Carroll looked good.
Okay. Listen, speaking of 90s teams that did okay for themselves, Eldred, I got to ask you, man. I know you're a big Cowboys fan. You win 3 Super Bowls in the first 8 years in the reign of Jerry Jones. Things couldn't look more optimistic and more encouraging. And then you go your next 30 years without reaching a conference championship game. From your viewpoint, and Goody, you can chime in on this too, because you're such an NFL guy.
I am.
How do you?
Yeah.
But I'm curious from Eldred first. How do you explain this?
Well, I can't explain it. That's, there's really no explanation. What I've learned to do over the years is not drive myself completely insane, because I would. And if you're wondering if I'm still a diehard Cowboys fan, I got something for you guys.
There we go. You should have had it on hand. You got to go.
Yeah.
No, he's building up the drama.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, great visual. You can't tell anything about it. Who is it?
It's so blurry.
Is that Dak? Yeah, it's definitely Dak. Yeah. I thought it was 4. Hey, he's dealing with a lot right now, man.
That's my fresh got this bad boy for as a Christmas gift.
That's
Why
awesome.
is it blurring it out? Is it
I don't know.
It's the football god saying, Eldred, find a new team.
Yeah.
No,
It's been rough, but I'm still as diehard a fan as I was when we were growing up.
The Dez catch, that team could have won
the Dez catch was pretty brutal. We were watching that at our apartment in the city. Zach and I, we have the privilege of going to every Cowboys-Giants game in New York. I went to a bunch growing up, but I'm lucky enough. Zach's mom is a big Giants fan and has season tickets. So for the last 12, 14 years, she's given us the tickets to that game. So we go out every year. Ever since the Odell catch, we were there for the Odell catch, and every game since, right? And half the time the game doesn't mean anything. Half the time the Cowboys are headed to the playoffs. The Giants usually aren't, obviously. But between that game and then Thanksgiving, always with my family, I get as jacked up as you can imagine. And then they let me down, whether we get to the playoffs or not. Um, and I've just learned to not get as ridiculously crazy as I used to, probably when I was alcohol fueled as well growing up. But it's just infuriating what's gone on. I mean, personnel wise, I think we've been good enough to win now for years. But management wise, Jerry's just too involved, and he makes too much volatile decisions, and he acquires good talent and players. But I just think some of the moves tend to be unnecessary, I'd say. I did really like the Parsons move and trade. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Zach knows, but about a year ago, I was down in DC, and my girlfriend and I were running a 5K race, and we went out to watch the Final Four later that afternoon, that evening. And as we were walking into this restaurant to watch the games, there was like this, big, tall black guy, and then like a guy and a girl with him. And they kind of like were rude walking in, didn't hold the door for us, like whatever. And he was, kind of standing in the doorway. And immediately I turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, that's like, I know who that guy is. Like, I know who he is. I recognize him. I just couldn't place him right away. Long story short, we sat right next to Micah Parsons in the restaurant. And so I played it cool, right, for a while. I didn't go up to him for like probably 45 minutes, an hour. Finally, a few younger guys went up to him and brushed them off, didn't say anything. And then the other two people left the table, and it was just him sitting at the table, sitting on his phone. He was playing some game. So I went up to him and I introduced myself. I tried to say hi to him, and he couldn't be bothered. He didn't say a word to me. He didn't acknowledge me. He wouldn't shake my hand, right? He wouldn't. All I said was, listen, you don't want to take a picture with me? That's fine. I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. You're one of the best players on the team right now. Can I at least just shake your hand? And he went like this. He put his fist out. And I said, you know what? And and you talk about karma, right? So I called Zach and I told my brother, the closest people in my life, I'm like, listen, freaking Parsons, man, he's a douchebag. I don't like this guy. I want him out of Dallas. Next thing you know, what happened? We shipped his ass to Green Bay.
Goody, before you jump in on the Cowboys' lack of success, I want to defend Micah Parsons here. Okay, I'm not saying what he did was entirely right. I cannot imagine what it's like to be the face of the Dallas Cowboys for a few years, and you are being torn in every single direction every day of your life. Everybody wants something from you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing prepares you for that. So when you go out, the last thing you want to do is, in his eyes, be bothered, be interrupted. Not that anything you did was wrong, but the conversation that you were ultimately
it's not
spewing
that
his way, he
it's
hears
not that,
every
I hear
second
you.
of every day.
Yeah.
That he
I know,
gets
I
this
hear you.
all the time. So
True.
but I want to be very, I'm not saying you're saying this. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he handled himself the best he could have, but I also want to defend him and say he gets this every single time he goes out in public. It doesn't mean what he did was right, but
Yeah.
I also understand from a human perspective, he just wants space.
Yeah. No, I don't discount what you're saying, and you have a point there. But I just think, maybe he's not the team player and the all-world defensive, guy that we needed in Dallas. So I don't frankly miss him.
How'd you guys remind us how your Cowboys did this year?
I mean, didn't do well, but hey,
Right.
listen, we got Kenny Clark. We have another first-round draft pick from it, and we have a lot of ammo. We already signed the cornerback Durant, right? So we're beefing up the defense. You know what the offense can do, and I have high hopes for the future. But in all seriousness, my teams. I have the Cowboys, right? I'm a big Mets fan. I guess you could go down the line with definitely the Knicks, right? Even Rangers. Most of these teams haven't won a championship since before 2000. Some of them before 90s or even 80s. So, I've become a more patient fan at this point because if you expect a championship every year or even every decade and it doesn't come, I mean, you'll drive yourself crazy, right? So I'm still diehard and as passionate as ever, but you have to be patient and wait for it to come around and hope your team makes the right moves and they play well. And there's some luck involved. The Patriots, they had their run of 6 titles, but look how lucky they got, right? They got so lucky. Half those Super Bowls, they could have went the other way and they wouldn't have won.
Eldred,
So
and Goody, and jump in any time here. But you look at the Giants Super Bowls; those two Super Bowls could have gone the Patriots' way, and the
true.
Patriots have been really lucky the last 2 weeks with certain photos.
Yeah. How
Sorry.
about we ask Goody about his Steelers?
Yeah, no. Well, I want it, but Goody, but as a football guy, explain to me how Jerry Jones has such success the first 8 years. And I know it's ego. I get it.
I like the Cowboys. I've always liked the Cowboys. They've always been a few games away from competing, but they've competed. As soon as I heard this Parsons story, it's not what he did, it's who he did it to. Great Cowboys fan. I know it wasn't gonna work out. He's overrated. You don't try to play that type of game with Jerry Jones. As an NFL fan, it's almost like Brady. I hated Brady my whole life. And then when he was on the Bucs, I loved him. It's the same with Jerry Jones. If you're an NFL fan and you don't have the softest little spot for Jerry Jones, so I would love to see them win a Super Bowl before he dies. And I think they're right in the thick of things. I think their team's very good. I think they did get a good trade. We'll see how they draft. But they're lovable losers now. So it's like you root for them because they're never in the Super Bowl. But I would love to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, probably more than any team in the NFC. It's nostalgic. It would remind me of my childhood.
Well, listen, it's an international brand. It's the Yankees, it's the Lakers.
Tell that to the people in China. They're like, who are the Cowboys?
No, no, no. I know the NFL is not the worldwide global sport that baseball might be because of the World Baseball Classic or the NBA, but I'm telling you, the Cowboys travel, man. Speaking of travel, you guys might have traveling back to Pittsburgh. This is my transition to Aaron Rodgers at 43 years old next season.
Yeah.
Goody, is this really the answer for your Pittsburgh Steelers in the first year of the Mike McCarthy era?
Yeah. When he won his Super Bowls and when he was in his prime, he was with McCarthy. They signed Michael Pittman. I watch every Steeler game last year, so maybe you'll give me some argument based on I don't know what, but I watch every Steeler game. He's very, very sharp. They had no weapons. DK Metcalf, was essentially their sole weapon, and then they signed somebody that complements him very well, Michael Pittman. In the first round, there's a good chance they draft a wide receiver. So if it's up to me, I definitely bring him back. But I love Ohio State, and their backup is the quarterback that won the national championship at Ohio State, Will Howard. So either way, I'm good. But watching Rodgers the last 2 years, he's still very sharp. His mind is as sharp as ever, and his arm is 95% of what it always is. He's slow. That's the only difference. But definitely take him. He's an all-time great. And I'm hoping it'll be like John Elway, with the Broncos. His last 2 years when he's in his 40s, he wins back-to-back Super Bowls.
He was 37 and 38. Rodgers
Yeah,
is half,
nowadays they got
half a decade older than him.
They got his offseason. They got science is advanced, Dave. 41 is the new 33.
Well, that's what we're going to be saying in 2, 3 years from now. I know that much. Is Mike McCarthy an upgrade from Mike Tomlin, though?
His message seemed to get stale in Pittsburgh. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016. So think about how long that is for a team like this. They're always good. He never has a losing season. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016. McCarthy's a proven guy. I always thought with the Cowboys, his teams were always in it. He's a true Yinza, as they say in Pittsburgh, true Pittsburgh guy. And him and Rodgers won a Super Bowl together. So you look at the Steelers roster on defense, they're stacked. They're very good. Their one weakness, they signed an excellent cornerback. Really, their one weakness, they signed Rico Dowdle, split time with Jalen Warren. They're going to be a very, very good team. As always, super competitive, and I'm always optimistic.
Well, I'm optimistic about the class of 2005 from New Canaan High School because we got a lot of good people that have lived a real quality life since then, and it's great to catch up with you three in this setting in this capacity. I want to end with this. Do you guys still feel connected to New Canaan High and our class as a whole?
I'm gonna go first because my answer is no, and not because of the people, but because I just moved so far away. I mean, when I moved to Chattanooga, that was it was two flights. It was a 15-hour drive. So I know there's a lot of people that have stayed together and connected, and it's nice that social media can I can kind of see those things. But I mean, since I moved to Chattanooga, I haven't been back but 4 or 5 times to New York or Connecticut. So I see what I can see through social media, but as far as being connected, no. But it's not because of the people; it's because just I moved.
Fair enough. Good answer.
Um, I guess it'll go to me then. Yeah, I feel very connected because my parents still live there, so I still go to New Canaan a lot, as much as I possibly can, especially during the summer. I love being in New Canaan. My brother lives in Southport. Such amazing public amenities in town. We have an amazing library. You have Grace Farms. They sometimes have open gym at the basketball at the high school. Another fond memory from high school. Um,
Shout out to Rob Kneckley, by the way. Goody.
Oh, good. Hey,
I love
Rob.
he's probably my favorite person, one of my favorite people of all time.
Yeah, he's
Um,
up there, man. One of the
Kiwanis,
nicest people.
Kiwanis is such a beautiful courts. So yeah, no, I love the town. I hope to die
Hey,
in
can
there.
I ask? Sorry, Goody.
Yes.
Is Waveney still a nice park to
Oh
go to?
yeah, Waveney's amazing.
Yeah.
Irwin Park is very
Okay.
underrated. If you know Irwin Park, nobody goes to Irwin Park, but they still do the fireworks at Waveney. It really is a beautiful town. It's commutable to New York City. It's gotten so much nicer. Elm Street, the main street, they redid the movie theater. So
Yeah.
I love it there, and I hope to die there. Honestly,
Well, I guess you'll be there in 80 years.
yeah. I mean, that'd be probably less than that.
Hey, you're the one who just said 4 minutes ago how advanced technology is. I
Yeah,
like
and
your
I
odds,
stopped
man.
drinking the sugary drinks. Those
Yeah,
sugary drinks are killing me. Now not
exactly.
new.
What about you, Dave?
Well, I wanted to ask you first, Eldred, but I'm happy to go first. But you got to answer this too. Yeah, I do. We had a tough class in a lot of ways. And I didn't always do myself any favors too. I'm not completely innocent, but we there were some tough ones in our class in terms of getting to know, in terms of how kind some of them were. That's my experience in high school. I'm gonna always keep it 100. I'm always gonna be honest. And I certainly wasn't always the nicest person myself. But our class of 2005, we had some really nice people, but I felt like it was cliquey too. And I don't know if I always fit into one of those cliques. Um, but as time progresses and marches forward, I do find myself more and more appreciating individuals from the class of 2005 and being grateful for so many of them. And I think I was talking about this with Chaz really recently. Reunions aren't the same because you're updated on everything on social media anyway. So it's like I know we have a potential reunion coming up. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I hope I do. I'm not sure, but you see what everyone's up to. You see the life that everyone's living. And granted, it's a little bit different because it's what you're portraying versus actuality.
Hmm.
But I'll put a bow on it like this, Eldred. I'm very grateful to have gone to New Canaan High School, and I'm very grateful for overall the class that we had because there was a lot of special people. And I wish I did a better job of staying in touch with people. You get so committed to your work and career that you lose sight of good people over time, and it gets harder and harder to maintain those friendships and relationships. I wish I did a better job of that. Um, that's something I can work on. But overall, as I get older, I look back and feel more connected with each passing year.
Well
Good to hear.
said.
John?
Um, so for me, it's a mix, right? So yes and no. I do feel connected because I stay in touch with so many classmates like Zach, like you guys, like many others. But I also say no because things change and evolve, right? Um, I've had the privilege of being friends with so many people over the years, staying in touch, not staying in touch. People move across the country or the world. And I live pretty close to New Canaan now, right? And my parents also lived there until a couple of years ago, and they're still not far. They live over in Wilton now. Um, but I'd say that, definitely grateful for the class and the town that we grew up in, right? But I'd also agree with what you said, Dave, that it is a high pressure packed um, town and society. And if you're not on the inside of one of those cliques, right, it can be tough. And if you don't grow up and out, not necessarily physically, you can stay in New Canaan. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't see perspective outside of that New Canaan bubble, um, you can eventually, I think, struggle in some way in life because it is a bit of a bubble, Pleasantville kind of town, right? So we had a ton of positive and ridiculous amount of resources and everything you can imagine. But the perspective I've gotten from going to college and living in Manhattan and traveling the country, working and meeting new people from all over the world has been unbelievable. And you just don't get that from New Canaan necessarily. So, nor do you get that from social media, right? So you can see people on social media, but that's like you said, it's all the highlights. It's a certain lens. Um, it's hard to know. So I don't think any of us have the time to have hour-long conversations like this with the 300 people or however many people we graduated with. I don't even know, right? But it's definitely at least a couple hundred people. It's hard to get to know people and catch up and stay in touch, right? So, I mean, I know it's a lot of different perspectives, but I would like to see some people in person because I don't think you can't really understand where people are in life unless you see them in person. It's hard, right? So I would appreciate, getting together and seeing people in a reunion. But same, other side of that token is whenever this reunion is, not everyone's going to show up, right? You're not going to be able to catch up with everyone and fully understand where they live and what they do and where they work, right? So I think doing something like this could be a cool way for people to catch up. Maybe small groups of people get together on a Zoom and talk about where they are in life and maybe talk some stories, right? And post it. And it could be a good kind of happy medium because how often are you going to get together with people in a reunion? It's hard. People live all over the world and they have families and work and obligations, and so I just think it's difficult, right? But no, we grew up with a ton of good people and grateful for that and where we come from, and a lot of good to be learned from. And we're still relatively young people, right? So I think what you did, Dave, is commendable and smart idea for us to just to catch up.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. It's funny. I reached out to Jenna Kay. I don't know if you guys remember that name, but like
Yeah,
she's like blown up on social media. Like she has a huge following, and I just reached out to her randomly one day, and she's like, "Oh my God, blast from the past. Good to hear from you."
that's
And
awesome.
Eldred, it goes to your point. The lives that we've lived since high school has been amazing. And we've done so many things, and we've seen so many things, and we've grown in so many ways. And it'd be a shame to not reflect on that and celebrate that with people that I was close with growing up and people that I remain close with. It doesn't mean we see each other a lot in person, but there's always that connection. So I'm really glad we did this too. And I hope, there's so much on social media is celebration and fictitious moments that you want people to reinforce you on. So I wanted to make sure that we did something on this particular channel which was really reflective of something real and a genuine organic conversation. And hopefully people from our class watch this, and hopefully people who are going to high school now as we speak that are going through all kinds of ups and downs take some perspective away from this. I want you guys to have the final word. If there's anything you wanted to say before we close out, and I just once again want to say it's been great doing this with you three.
Thanks for having us.
This was wonderful, Shep. What a great
Yeah.
idea. And great to see Goody and
Yeah,
Eldred
Chaz,
again.
it's been so long. It's
I
nice.
know.
Yeah.
Great.
It's awesome.
Great.
No, really. Thanks a lot for setting it up, Dave. Really appreciate it. I always bring it back to sports because I'm obsessed like you guys. And I'd say I would really like one of the Ohio State defensemen in the draft.
Um,
If only you had an all-generational linebacker for 4 years that really took it to other teams and had the most sacks in the history of any player's first 4 years. If only you had that, Eldred.
True. I'll take Caleb Downs, though. I'd like him.
Boom. Me too.
There's only one, but fellas, we all agree, Chaz. I know you're a huge college basketball fan. I don't know how much you follow college football,
I
but
have a college football background behind me.
yeah, but that's just optics, Chaz. That's optics. I don't know how ingrained you are. Like Goody eats this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, because
I mean, hold on for a second. I'm gonna get out the screen here, and in that is Kyle McCord, who came from Ohio State. Okay, so I don't want to hear it.
Zach might apply for the head coaching job for the Syracuse Orangemen pretty soon.
And he
know.
probably would be
I would
better.
love that job.
Although
I would
Frank's
love
pretty
that
good.
job.
So
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing. But we all agree. I know Simpson's good from Alabama, but there's only one quarterback, Mendoza. That's it from this draft class.
Yeah. But he's good. He's amazing.
He's
Good.
real. Is he good, or is he the only one, and that makes him so
Well, it'll
good?
be interesting to see. Diego Pavia.
I like
Doesn't-
Pavia. Yeah, and if
Pavia,
Mendoza
He
goes to
just
the
wins.
black,
He wins. So
yeah,
Wait, time out. Pavia's nephew.
no. Pavia is the name of the
Right.
quarterback from who was this principal? New Canaan freshman year. I don't remember there being.
Oh, we gotta figure this. We gotta figure this out. I
yeah.
hope he's. And by the way, I don't mean this to be crass. I hope he's still with us. He was older.
yeah,
He was.
Let's hope that he's with us.
We can
And if
figure it
not,
out.
put
But
it in a memorial.
if
month.
Mendoza goes to the black hole, good luck to him. That's
Yeah,
a tough-
but Eldred, but who's overseeing that black hole now?
Kirk Cousins, baby's
Brady?
there, too.
Yeah, guys, all it takes is one. Look at the Saints. They were the Aints for how long? They get two guys.
Yeah,
Right.
Lions were bad for so long, and all of a
Right.
sudden,
But it looks like they're going back that way, unfortunately.
they're not.
But-
They're not, Dave. Leave it to the experts. They'll be right in the thick of things next year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I don't know. I was talking to Ian Rappaport on this conversation. That's my
You're
bad.
not.
That's
I
my
would say
bad.
that publicly. He's here. I'm here.
I will say this. The last thing I'll share is Goody called a show that when I was a producer, he called a show like 13 years ago. He was so good on the air. He was so good that the I won't mention the name wouldn't take his call again because Goody was talking circles around him. This is a true story. He could not hang with Zach Gutierrez. And this guy was a national host, and he could not hang with Goody. And he said,
Wow.
"I don't want him calling again."
I
Wow.
was gonna say
normal.
hearing Goody.
It's a true story.
I believe it. Hearing Goody talk about sports, I'm like, when's he gonna have his own show?
Yeah, maybe Shep. Shep's my mentor. I need you to guide me into.
Well, here's the thing. It's easier than ever before. Like look at Josh Pate. Look at what he did. He didn't have a traditional conservative.
I don't know.
Was that
Who is that?
Josh Pate? He's a college football guy.
No, I mean, I just watch. First of all, I don't watch any TV shows at all or go to ESPN. All I do is I just watch the games when they're on, and I do love gambling on college football. That's like
Wait. You got a high school classmate on ESPN Plus. You don't watch it?
No, that's a high school classmate. What's his name?
David Shepard. He's on
Oh,
ESPN
yeah,
Plus
I thought
once
you
a
were talking
week.
about somebody named
Wait,
Josh Payton a second ago. I was like, who's Josh
wait,
Payton?
the Good Shepherd. If he's the Good Shepherd, who are you
Hey,
going to be?
I call in. I call in every once in a while, but like
No,
I'm
but
not gonna listen to you talk
no,
football.
but I'm Goody. I'm like I don't know if you guys know Chaz. You know this name, Goody Eldred. You might. You guys know the name Joe Beningo?
Of course, he's on
Okay, well,
WFAN.
yeah. Oh, by the way, guess who I'm interviewing next Monday to talk Knicks?
Beningo,
Evan,
Beningo?
No,
Evan Roberts.
Evan Roberts.
Yeah, it's Beningo and Roberts is the show.
But Beningo,
I don't
he
have a
didn't
car,
crack. What's
so
that?
I don't have a car, so
I
I
know,
don't
but I know,
sports
but it's
talk radio.
WFAN. I know, but it's
I
WFAN
haven't
royalty.
driven, and so I can't even drive anymore.
But
That's
Goody,
the point.
moral of the story: Beningo did not get started in the sports landscape until his mid 40s. So, like, Goody, I will
Didn't
tell you as someone that has done this for a living for 16 years and someone that has hosted nationally for five, there's no doubt in my mind that you can't host on a national
Hmm.
platform. There's no doubt. Of course you could. But the
Yeah,
question is, are
I
you
guess.
willing to give up real estate? Because if you want to
No,
do it, you got to go all in.
I know, I know. I like my
Yeah.
life. I like my life.
Isn't there a broadcasting school in Connecticut that he went to? Connecticut
Dave,
School of
can't you get
Broadcasting.
so famous that you can just become famous and then bring me on once a week just to talk? You know, that's what I'm
You
paying
mean
for.
like what Stephen A. Smith does with his siblings and his
I
daughters?
don't
No,
watch.
and
I
Stephen A.
know
Smith
who
is
he
the
is, but
GOAT.
I've never watched a Stephen A. Smith show because
Oh,
it's.
come on, you're lying.
I'm not lying because I
You've
watch.
never
I
watched.
think
You've never
no,
watched
never,
Stephen A. Smith.
never. I don't have. I don't put like ESPN on in
No,
my
I know, but
house
he's I
ever,
know, but Stephen A.
ever.
Smith's everywhere. He's on HBO. He's on ABC. He's on CBS. He's
I've seen
everywhere.
him commenting on politics more than I've seen him commenting on sports in my life and the way that I consume media.
Okay,
I'm not just turning on, but
which tells you how skilled and good he is that he can kind of go in that direction and not get the necessary blowback that a lot of other people in sports get.
he's tough to listen to for me. You know, I
I
would
think
prefer over him.
now I also work for SiriusXM, so I'm always going to support him no matter what. But even if I didn't work for SiriusXM, I would tell you he is the biggest name going in sports right now.
Yeah, and it's weird because I'm like, he's the biggest name. There's got to be somebody.
No,
You know,
he's the biggest. There's I don't think there's anyone close to him. I mean, you
I
can
think the
argue.
reason why Zach doesn't like him is because he's not a very analytical guy, and Zach
Yeah.
I
is.
know he speaks well, but like what he's
Yeah.
saying, the substance is so silly. So I know football. When I hear him talk about football, I'm like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. I know
Well,
Jesus
okay. Well,
words.
Goody?
He's got a cool cadence.
Who's the guy for you in the
It's
national
not the
media,
guy. It's like you
or excuse
consume.
me, or the gal? Who is that for you in the
Doesn't have to
social media?
be. They put the content on, and I consume the content, which are the games, and then I make my own
Yeah.
ideas of what I
Yeah.
think. You know,
Yeah,
so
it
I
ain't ESPN and Sports
you know,
Center. Most of those guys don't know what they're talking
you're
about.
meeting a
Like
quota. It's like you have a quota.
Orlovsky
You
does
finish an
some of
article
that
by
because he
this
played.
day. Make up something. You know, it's like you're just creating content. So it's like the content is the competition.
Yeah,
And you
no,
can
the only guys that know what they're talking about, like football wise, that I can tell is like Brady and Romo, like the real commentators who played and were very good.
Yeah, Aikman falls in that
Yeah,
conversation
they
for
know what they're
sure.
talking about.
Collinsworth,
Yeah,
without question.
Yeah, but
All right,
Stephen A.
well,
Smith, you know, I mean,
all
crazy.
right. Well, how does Goody get his own national sports or national television show in sports? That's our next episode.
No,
I want to be respectful of your time, gentlemen. This was a pleasure, and we'll do it again at some point. Might be a year or two
definitely
years from now. Might be sooner. Might be 5 years from now. But this was great catching up with you three. I know we've been in touch, but great to talk life. Great to talk sports with you, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all.
awesome. Thanks a
oh,
lot, guys.
Good to see
Stay
you.
nice,
well. We'll
Jazz.
talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
The Good Shepherd.